isn't it stated in your formal affirmative action plan that that the location of sewer pack, including transportation or lack of transportation, may be a barrier towards clerical and technical staff? Isn't that stated in?
Yeah, I wrote that very thing when we moved out there. And I know and we're rewriting now. I won't say it again because I don't think it's been a big barrier.
Okay.
We said it may be. We wrote that prospectively 5-6 years ago or so when we moved out to the Pewaukee location from Waukesha. And I honestly don't believe that in itself is a big barrier to recruiting people to work in our place.
So the final one that comes out that you're working on now won't have that in it?
Well, it'll probably discuss the lack of transit, but I don't know that it'll conclude that that's a significant barrier. Because I don't think that's been my experience since we moved out there 5 years ago, I guess it is.
One more, then I'll stop. There are specialists who work to fill the types of positions, professional positions that become available.
Headhunters.
I thought of that word. I wasn't going to use it, but yeah, that's another name for them. And there are these people who are exceptional at filling positions with specific qualifications that you're looking for. Could SEWRPC, maybe this committee could suggest an appropriate person who they have experience with that SEWRPC could contract with to fill these positions? Does that sound like something the committee would be interested in suggesting?
I'd like to hear if SEWRPC would be interested in accepting that, or do we have the authority to make them accept it?
No, you don't have any authority, but you've got one commissioner here, you've got another commissioner over here, they're going to be listened to on the commission. But we've thought about headhunters, and we don't have any inherent objection to it. We're looking, for example, we have one vacancy right now, right? For someone to do. It's traffic simulation modeling, transportation simulation modeling work. Okay, it's critical to. We'd like to find someone who would stay with us for a while, make a career for a while at least out of it. We would be delighted if a headhunter could find that person for us tomorrow, and if that person was a minority. So we're open to suggestions like that. If I don't know how much, we've never employed a headhunter. I don't know what it costs, exactly. I'd have to find out and stuff like that. It would have to come out of our budget. But if that's something this group thinks that the commission ought to do from time to time, at least for targeted positions, I suppose we could do that.
I would like to see that happen. Does anyone else have a?
Do you want to make that?
Does that require a motion? We don't have a quorum,
Not
so I don't know what
okay.
that would do. We don't have a quorum.
The group does have a quorum now, but there's no, if you want to make a motion, that's fine, but I think the sense of the group, if that is the consensus of the group and you want us to try something like that, we'll surely try. I think, like I say, there's two commissioners here that are going to, I assume, agree with you, so I'm not going to speak for them, but I would think they would be supportive of any efforts to diversify our staff.
Is that the consensus of the group then?
I think so. In view of the parent struggles in being able to recruit and hire minorities in some of the areas here, I think that may be a worthwhile effort to see if that helps. If it doesn't, well then...
Yeah, we've been pretty unsuccessful in trying to fill this position, somebody of any color. So if we can find a minority, that'd be great.
And that's the recommendation at this time?
Mr. Evenson acknowledged that in the previous reports there was the suggestion that perhaps one of the reasons why some of the minority employment numbers are low had been because of difficulties making maybe it was time to remove that language from the reports. That language goes back to the very first affirmative action report by the commission, not just the current, relatively current reports that disclose this probable or potential problem once the agency had moved to Milwaukee. The agency had previously been in downtown Waukesha. And in the very first report, there is the same suggestion that the difficulty in making certain hires had to do with the commuting issue at that point from Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha just to downtown Waukesha. So of course, if you move farther west to Pewaukee, where there's no transit, as opposed to some transit to Waukesha, that difficulty is going to be present. So rather than removing the language as a possible problem, I would hope that what we'd see in the next report is a deeper analysis of why there is the continuing problem with minority hires at SEWRPC, and then a little sense of urgency in these reports, which is not present, that would suggest that SEWRPC really needs a program, not just a repetition of the same outreach efforts year in and year out that are not producing substantial changes, but that the report would have some energy behind it that would show a real hope, a real achievement to bring about a substantial improvement in these numbers, and not just removing from the report a possible explanation about why there hasn't been a lot of movement of these numbers for the last 12 years. Thank you.